Hey there, welcome to day 1524 of What Shipped You Now, documenting the journey, business journey for the most part. As I originally transitioned in 2017 from the brick and mortar corporate world of business, pretty much, totally exclusively, into the online world of business, totally exclusively. And then in 2020 and 2021, I've done a little bit of back and forth, and we'll continue to move back and forth as I move forward, probably for the rest of my life, for a lot of personal reasons. I've shared some of them in this segment, some of them not so much. If you're curious, all you have to do is ask, right? You only have to ask, and pretty much an open book. With over 5,000, I think I'm up to over 5,500 videos. I know I've got 5,450 podcast episodes on my Libsyn account. So thousands and thousands of videos I've done. So I'm not an enigma by any stretch of the imagination. And if I go back, and I haven't gone back and watched my videos, I made a rule early on. If I ever wanted to create anything in the world, I had to not judge and criticize myself. Are some of my videos downright awful? Yes. Are some of them embarrassing? Totally. Lots of them. Most of them are embarrassing. As soon as I stop and push publish, I'm like, oh my God, that was awful. That's the first thought that still pops into my head, even after doing 5,000 videos. So should I hire an editor? Probably. Will I? Probably not, if I'm being honest. I don't, it's not that I don't care and I don't want good production value and things. It's that I don't think that it is authentic. I don't think it shows who you really are if you massively edit the things that you create. Just my opinion. I think there's amazing professional things out there, and depending on your branding and what you're creating, it could be important for you to edit your videos. For me, I'm just being me, and so I don't think that that's necessary or required. Someday I might change my mind. Someday I might decide, this is my brand. This is who I am. This is who I'm going to be and stand for professionally. But for right now, that is not where I'm at in my life, and I don't want to be. So today, for Supersize Your Business, I'm doing a spiritual well-being related idiom for the month of April to coincide with the annual BU 365-day challenge to do one thing every day that improves us. And we are working on the spiritual area and aspect of our life. So we've done physical, mental, emotional, and now we're on spiritual. And I've mentioned dozens of times that I focus on 9 different areas and aspects of my life right now. I'll probably come up with one more because I like round, even numbers. I don't like odd numbers, but right now it's 9. So physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution. In April of last year, I added confidence and communication. I shouldn't use that finger because I think that those are core foundational things that we need to have a handle on as we want to progress toward what it is that we want. So Good Samaritan was our idiom today. I like Good Samaritan. And I specifically worded my question for that group today was, should you be a Good Samaritan to supersize and grow your business? And why did I say should? Sorry, phone calls come in sometimes when I do my videos late, and I'm a little later than usual today. So when we are deciding, as you can see, I get discombobulated when the phone rings just like anybody else. And that should be edited out, right? But I'm not going to edit it out because sometimes my phone rings during my videos. All right, so Good Samaritan. It's mentioned in the Bible in 3 different books of the Bible. Luke is the one that's most commonly referenced because it's in the New Testament. Mark and Matthew as well. Jesus tells the story of a Good Samaritan. In Luke, it's for children, which is another reason it's probably the most popular one, is more people can relate to it. But of the man who's beaten and starving and clearly needs help, and people are just walking by him and not paying any attention or scoffing, right? Or making fun of him. So one person comes along and is a Good Samaritan and helps this individual. That's the point of the whole story. And so my point was, are our businesses good stewards of the resources we have at our disposal, or are we just doing what we want to do without paying attention to the implications on the rest of the world, on our stakeholders, on the communities we operate on? Are we setting a good example or a bad example? Because we can all think of examples of businesses that are super duper successful, but they are not good stewards and good citizens. They are all out for themselves. And there's a lot of businesses like that, right? But there's also, to balance that out, as many, if not more, awesome businesses and awesome people that want to just make the world a better place. And entrepreneurs and business owners are in a unique position, unlike politicians who think they are, to make the world a better place. We can make the world a better place by setting the example, by taking into consideration what does the impact we're doing have on other stakeholders, other people in the world, other people in our community? Are we setting an example of what we want to see in the world with our vision and the business that we're growing? Or are we just like many other businesses, just out to get whatever we can? It's again why I have a problem with the marketing messages that focus on the problem and then exasperating the problem and make it worse. A couple of my favorite people in the online marketing world are ones that teach that. And, I will continually push against that, because I don't believe that. And I get it. I understand it intellectually, but it doesn't feel right for me. So I don't want to do it. Have I tried it a couple of times in the past? Yeah. Didn't feel right. So I stopped doing it. If I don't believe in and feel right about what I'm doing, then it's not right for me. If it's not right for me, it's not right for the people that I serve. Do we already have plenty of problems and challenges in the world that we don't need to make them worse? Absolutely. And we definitely don't need to make them worse just to get people to buy our stuff, right? So that was our idiom for Supersize Your Business today. Our topic for the annual challenge is spiritual core values. Now, we talk about our core values, and I have a little sheet of paper that tells, that tells when we've talked about core values. We will talk about core values with respect to each of the areas and aspects of our life. That'll be one day that we focus on for every one of the 9 areas and aspects of our life. And then in probably October, we will take a look at and go back and check in and say, okay, what is my number one core value in each area and aspect of my life? Because that helps us to make decisions, to make choices, to understand. I shared a process on day 44, I think it was, when I talked about, and I probably shared it as well in physical, and I talked about it briefly today. So on day 8 of that challenge, if you want to go back and find out how we did physical core values, it was on day 8. Day 44, we talked about emotional core values. Day 82, we talked about mental core values. And today, day 92, we talked about spiritual core values. So if that's a topic of interest to you, you can just pop into the Get Up and Go private Facebook group, and you can search core values, and those days will come up for you. I didn't do it that way. I went back through my book, my little BU 365-day challenge book. I have a book that says, do more of what makes you happy. That's my book that I'm journaling and doing the challenge right along with everybody else that's doing the challenge. I might need 2 books. As I look at my book, I might need 2. Maybe not. I might be able to get it all in one. I'd like to get it all in one. There's no guarantee that that'll happen. I'm going to take this little core values piece of paper and stick it on my core values day, so that when I get to, I think we're doing relationships next month, or financial. May is financial. We're going to do financial area and aspect of our life this month. So then I'll want to look at that and say, okay, well, here are the days if you want to go back and learn more about core values. And then by the end of the 9 months, I will know what all those days are, and I won't have to go back and look 4 months like I did today. Little tricks and things I learned along the way. It's called continuous improvement. As I figure things out, I incorporate them into what I'm doing to make my life easier down the road. So we talked about our core values. And of course, core values for spirituality are things like, I'm just going to peek at this: honesty, trust, kindness, compassion, generosity, tolerance, respect, patience, authenticity, openness, perseverance, discernment, courage, beauty, hope, requirement to evolve, meaning have spiritual growth, things like that. So, and whatever else is important to you. Did I say love? Yeah, love, things like that. So what are your top spiritual core values? It's always good for us to think about these things, right? And have an idea. And when we're clear on what our core values are, guess what? It's really easy to make decisions and choices, to decide what isn't right for us. So that's what we talked about for that. Saturday in my neck of the woods, so I'm going to have some fun today. I'm also doing a challenge. Liz Benny, if you know who she is, she's a wonderful kapow woman on in the internet marketing world and ClickFunnels world. If you're in ClickFunnels, I'm sure you've heard of her. But she's doing a Mount Everest challenge. Now, my son, I have a picture of my son. That's in Norway, but he went to Mount Everest in 2013 and ended up getting flown off the mountain because he had high mountain altitude sickness. So I have a tender spot in my heart for Mount Everest. And she's doing a challenge where you walk. You don't have to climb 29,029 feet, but where you walk 29,029 feet a day. You can walk or bike or do whatever. So I am doing a combination of those because I found out yesterday, my first day of the challenge, we're a day behind. She's in New Zealand. We're a day behind them in New Zealand. I killed my knee. And so I'm like, I'm not sure how I'm going to get all those steps in every day, but we do that in a couple different exercises. So we can be creative with it. I will be being creative with this challenge. And should I have picked up someone else's challenge when it's just for the month of April. So I'm like, yeah, I can do that in April. And I need to get better and start preparing for surgery next year. So I need to focus more on my health. So I'm like, yes, I will do that. I thought about it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll commit to doing that. It's going to be hard for me. It's going to be a challenge for me. So I will figure out how to make it work in my life, just like we need to figure out how to make everything work in our lives. So I'm going to focus on that today and see if I can do something that's less knee impactful than walking up and down hills. All right. If I can help you in any way, ask. Please ask. Don't ever be stuck thinking that there's no one on the planet, no one in the universe you can ask her to figure out how to take your next step or what to do next. Just ask. I want to be that resource. I've got a knack for, in 5 minutes or less, being able to help anyone figure out what the next step is, what the next thing they can do is, what the next thing they should do is. Because guess what? Secretly, you always know what you need to do. You just don't want to necessarily commit to it for whatever reasons, mostly because we're afraid to do stuff, right? It's outside our comfort zone, or we just don't feel like it, or for whatever reason. And sometimes we just need someone outside of us to say, yeah, that's right, go, do it right now, right? All right, have an awesome day, and I will be with you tomorrow. Bye.